You laughing at me?
Welcome, racers and fans, to the Racers News Network Live, presented by Straight Line Performance and Automotive and Scotty Wheels Racing. Your hosts, Chris and Pete, bring you the latest news and interviews in the world of sportsman drag racing, including bracket racing, association races, outlaw, and no-time events. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it away, boys. Are you looking for comprehensive solutions for your performance and automotive needs? Straight Line Performance and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop specializing in race car fabrication, electrical design, chassis setup and alignment. Located in Hamden, Connecticut, they also specialize in aftermarket high performance and chassis upgrades. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/straightline, STR8LINE, Performance, ampersand Automotive, or give them a call at 203-415-5316.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great edition of Racers News Network Live. We have a great guest tonight, NHRA, PDRA top sportsman competitor, Division I's own Dennis Gaboriault. And if you're listening, Lisa, already, did you notice I pronounced it right? So instead of going Dennis, but
Chris, can you make it shareable? It's not shareable on Facebook.
I shared it.
it's shareable.
Okay.
It's there. It even came up on my other two computers I have on my desk. So anyways, like I said, Dennis Gaboriault is going to be our guest. He'll be joining us oh so shortly. But we have a whole ton of results to get to tonight. We have NHRA, we have NMCA, we have Yellow Bullet, we have Northeast Super Street Association, their first races at Lebanon Valley. So let's kick it off with Nessa, Pete.
I don't want to kick it off at Nessa. I want to
You want to save it for last? All right, we'll save it for last.
Okay.
Scotty, go ahead.
No, wait.
No, now you really?
I got this.
You got this? Are you sure?
We're going to start off with .90, but we're going to start off in Enos, Texas.
Yeah, let's do the exciting racing second. So go ahead.
Shut up, will you? LODRS, Lucas Oil Divisional Race in Enos, Texas. What racetrack is Enos, Texas, Chris?
Texas Motorplex.
Texas Motorplex. It looks like they had a really good car count. Both Super Comp and Super Gas were 7-round races. Super Street was a 6-round race. We'll kick it off at Super Comp. Bill Dennis defeats Hunter Patton. Both of them had a 14 light. Bill Dennis runs an 890 with a 0. To Hunter's just barely breaking out 889 with a 6. And for anyone who's ever looked up these races on Drag Race Central, at the bottom of the info, they'll put a little blurb about like how many feet they won by or how many wins they've gotten. I don't know who they've got writing this stuff at Drag Race Central, but the caption underneath it was Hunter took too much stripe. 4,000. It's a 4,000th race. Took too much stripe. Could you imagine? Wow. They both had identical reaction times, and Bill Dennis runs dead on with an egg. Hunter only breaks out by 4,000, but he took too much stripe, I guess. On the Super Gas, Coy Collier defeats Jerry Pollard. Coy had a 14 light, ran a 991 with a 4. Pollard's little late 57 light and breaks out trying to catch him, 988 with a 1. On the Super Street at Texas, Dennis Clark defeats Robert Varela, hopefully. This was the weird one, and I don't have a lot of info on it, but Dennis Clark had a 39 light and runs a 1083 with a 2. Robert had no time. So I'm guessing either he couldn't stage or didn't show or whatever. But either way, that's Dennis's first win. So it's kind of nice to be in the final round and taking a win without having someone breathing down your neck in the other lane.
Absolutely.
Just to go back a little bit for Super Gas, Coy, that was his 4th career divisional Wally. And that's pretty much a wrap for Enos as far as .90 stuff goes.
All right.
On to Charlotte with the 4-wide. We have Super Comp, Billy Upton defeating Lauren Freer. Billy was a 12 light and runs dead on with a 6, 890 with a 6. Lauren just a tick too fast, 2 thou red, and then she goes 3 thou under with an 889 with a 7, trying to catch him. Billy's 4th national event win. Super Gas, Jim Perry's 017 light and 996 with an 8 defeats Jeff Jensen's 026 light and a 996 with a 7. For those of you that are really quick at math, that's an 8 thou stripe. And for Jim Perry, that's his 7th national event win.
Wow.
Wow.
That's like, I'm like, you could put me in the box if I knocked down one, and this guy just won his 7th. It's pretty incredible.
That's awesome.
Super Street was not contested at the 4-wide. Now, do you want me to go on to Nesson, or you want Scott to take his turn? What do you want to do?
No, go ahead. Well, let's just finish up this stuff. Then we'll get to the real racing.
Oh, Scott's bored out of his mind with the .90. We'll keep on going.
Yeah, keep it going. Come on.
Lebanon Valley had their first Nesson race, Northeast Super Street Association. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend for one of the days, although I was not a factor in anything except for taking up a pit spot. But I'm going to give you some of these numbers that these guys run, and I mean, I find it hard to believe that there's any series out there that's any more competitive than these guys and girls. For the race on Saturday, the first race for the series, Dave Jones defeats Mike Falcone. They give out 3 awards. Number 1 qualifier, if you run dead on in competition, and a bounty for whoever won the last race. So Sean Nichols qualified number 1, and he got the straight line performance money. Ray Butler runs dead on 1090 with a 0 in round 1 and got the Racing News Network money. And Al Owens gets the bounty because he beat George McGuigan. God, I hope I got that right. He had to send me the phonetic spelling so I could figure it out. Beat him because George, I'm guessing, won the last race of last year, so it rolled over to this year. On Sunday, Rick Mattioli defeats Paul Panisa. Hope I didn't kill your name too bad there, Paul. Dave Jones qualified number 1. Sean Nichols runs a 1090 with a 0 in eliminations, and he also gets the bounty for defeating Dave Jones. So if you're paying attention at home, Sean Nichols, without winning either race, won 3 of the possible 6 bonuses that they give out. Whole family's a killer. If you know them, you know the family stuff. And he obviously, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree with him. But great racing up there, great time as usual. If you guys are at all interested in competing in Super Street, you might want to go up there, but don't think you're going to go up there and mow through the field because it ain't happening.
Pete, just a heads up for you. George said that was perfect.
Oh, good. I did it. Thanks for the lesson, George.
All right.
So the last little bit of .90, just a reminder about Rob Keister's race coming up at Maple Grove this coming weekend. Going to be a killer race. So again, if you're in the market for competing in .90, head down to Maple Grove this weekend. It should be a barn burner down there.
Awesome. All right, moving on to more NHRA action at the 4-wides in Charlotte this time. Start off with Stock Eliminator, Marion Stevenson over Morgan Wilson. Super Stock, Peter Diagnolo over Steve Camella. Everybody up here knows who Camella is, with that beautiful Dodge Dart Hemi with still has the factory sticker in the right rear window of it as well. Comp Eliminator, Dave Barton in the Chevy Camaro over Joel Warren. Now, the cool thing with Comp Eliminator at this race was that this is the first factory stock car to win in Comp Eliminator. The article that I read today quoted Dave Barton as saying he went down to test and said, "To hell with it, let's give it a run in Comp and see what happens." There we go. Top alcohol funny car, Sean Bellamore over Doug Gordon. Top alcohol dragster, Rachel Meyer defeated Division One's Karen Stalba. Karen is right there so far this year. Tell you what, she is on it. Pro stock.
She qualified number one at every race she's been at so far.
I'd have to check, but I believe so. Yes, or at least top two.
And what class was that in?
Top alcohol dragster. She drives a
Nitro.
injected nitro dragster,
Nice.
not a blower car.
Nice.
Pro stock bike. Steve Johnson defeated Matt Smith. Pro stock. Dallas Glenn, first time winner in pro stock over Mason Magaha. John Forrest, shockingly, wins in funny car, defeated J.R. Todd. Top fuel, Steve Torrance over Brittany Force. And top sportsman, Ronnie Proctor, one of our very first guests we had on the show, in his Ford Mustang, defeated Lester Johnson. Top Fuel Harley, kind of glad to see them actually make a comeback. They got a sponsor for the series. I think somebody had said they had to front their own purse, but they're running, and I think they're only going to run extremely selected NHRA races. That's something I'll have to dive into a little bit more. Jay Turner and Top Fuel Harley over Randall Andros, excuse me. Pro Mod, no surprise, Stevie Fast Jackson over Brandon Snyder. And that is it for the four wides. Moving on to the rest of the results in the divisional at Ennis, Texas. Let's see, Sport Motorcycle, Michael Nash over Tony Davis. Top Sportsman, Lance Abbott over David Bills. Now, the cool thing that I noticed about the Top Sportsman race was that Lance Abbott dialed a 7.0. Lance Abbott ran a 7.000 to take the win. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Top Dragster, Phil Dion over Scott Barker. And Super Street, Dennis Clark over Robert Varela. And Super Gas, Coy Collier over Jerry Pollard.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Why are you reading the same stuff that I just read?
I don't know, because I'm stupid and I wasn't paying attention.
As soon as you see Super Cop, you'll be like, oh no, the other dummy.
I'm in the moment. I'm like, I've got this. For once I got the right results and I can actually read them.
Chris, I got all
Instead of going,
buddy, we're good. All right, I'm gonna mute. See ya.
I had to listen to Boring Racing twice.
shush. Stockel, Parker DeVore over Sheila May Holt. And Super Comp, we already got that. Super Stock, Pete Peary over Mike Cotton. And Top Alcohol Funny Car, Bob McCosh over Kyle Smith. And Division One's own Jackie Frick was hanging out in Texas. She made the finals, but they had a fuel line rupture. Who lost out to Sean Kelly and Top Alcohol Dragster. So congratulations, everybody. Again, I got the results instead of sitting here going, all right.
I don't think ESPN is going to pick us up anytime soon. What do you think?
No, only if they want like worst of.
All right, Scott.
There was another little race going on down to Maryland this weekend. There's actually going to be two of them this year. So of course I'm talking about Yellow Bullet, and Scotty Matt has all the Yellow Bullet results.
Scotty, this is your time to shine and pull us out of the water here.
Yep.
My God. All right. So listen. So first, I'm going to go with NMCA stuff because it was quick and short. We had, and it's tough having two races of this quality on the same weekend for small tire guys, because they pull from each other. But Street Outlaw and X275 and NMCA. Tony Hobson won with a 420. Now this is again no wheelie bars, 275 tire, single 88 millimeter turbo, 427, 167. The Renegade / Extreme Street, Joel Grayhouse. If you watch any kind of heads up small tire racing, Extreme Street is the same as Ultra Street. So they're the same. What they did is NMCA went and mated their rules with like the Ducks races. So now Joe Grayhouse, he runs Ultra Street. He ran Extreme Street this weekend, went a 452 at 155. The crazy part is when I ran X275, 452 was really fast back in 2018. And now you're talking Ultra Street is running just as fast. It's pretty amazing. Detroit Locker, Johnny Lightning. I wanted to mention him. He ran a 870 on an 854 dial. He won the Lightning shootout. So that was most of the stuff for NMCA.
Hey, Scotty,
Yes, sir.
why don't we hold on to Yellow Bullet till after we talk to our guest since he's here?
Okay. I
All
just want
right,
to make
very
sure. We should ask him who's coming to my race first.
No,
Yes.
no one really cares about what you're talking about anyway, Scott. So
Yeah, but I'm talking about real racing, not .90.
yeah, I'm glad the guest came on. It woke me back up. Thanks, buddy.
There you go. All right, everybody. Welcome our guest tonight to our Racers News Network. Of course, Massachusetts' own Dennis Gaboriault. Welcome, Dennis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Thanks
So-
for having me.
I have to start this off because I've been busting on your wife for like 2 years now about the hood of the Mustang. I'm very happy to see that the Mustang's hood is no longer black.
Oh, come on. Killing me. Hey, you gotta
Sorry,
do what you
I
gotta
had
do.
to. So, welcome, buddy.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
All right. So, I guess we'll start it off with how did you get into racing? How long have you been racing? Your first car, whatnot?
Oh man. So first actual kind of muscle car. I'm kind of embarrassed to say what it is, but it was a 71 Pontiac Firebird back in high school. Had it for about 6 months because I just couldn't find a Mustang that A, my parents would let me buy, and B, that I could afford. So bought that and had it for, like I said, about 6 months. And then I found my first Mustang, the 71 Mustang that I had and raced for years. So I've been messing around with, fast cars since high school or so. Started racing, maybe when I was, I don't even remember, 20, 21, 22. Then we, started driving it on the street and driving it at the track and got married. And, my wife made the worst mistake ever and said, you got to pick one. You're either going to race it or you're going to have it on the street. So we went racing.
Nice. Cool. So what was the evolution from that car to your Mustang that you have now?
Well, we started off, like I said, with the 71 Mustang and back in whatever, 93, 94, 95, somewhere in that area. Hooked up with Mike Fosher at Quest Racing. Him and Jim Drake, who owned the chassis shop, they were all in the same shop, and he was running a Pro Mod at the time, and got hooked up with him, and they took me under their wing and offered to start building my motors, and Jim built me a chassis for the 71 Mustang. And I think when we started running that, previous to that we were racing, but it was a back half, 12-second car. And then we did that and started, building a little bigger motor and went 8s. And then wanted to go faster, and eventually got the nitrous, built well, I wrecked the 71 Mustang down in, where were we? I don't even remember the name of the place. Pennsylvania somewhere. Drawing a blank on the name of the place, but I rolled it, broke an axle and rolled the car. So then we built the 65 Mustang. But that one was the 71 was, it was Island Dragway. My wife is yelling down the stairs. So then that car was mild steel, which was a big mistake. I'll never make that one again. And then we built the 65, and that was a chromoly car, and built a bigger motor. And, that one went low sevens, and that was on nitrous, stayed nitrous for a long time. Even when we built this car, stayed nitrous, 600 cubic inch nitrous motor. That car best it went with the nitrous was a 665 at like 208. Again, just wanted to go faster, and there wasn't a lot of room in that combination to go quicker without spending a lot of money on, much better heads. And back in the end of 2017, started talking to my engine builder, Mike Fosher, and I was actually going to go pro charged, and he just happened to have a set of turbos sitting at the shop and was like, "Hey, I can make you a really good deal on these turbos." And I was kind of not totally for it. I love the turbos for the power, but I was a little nervous because of the whole spooling it up, and I'm not allowed to have a bump button in NHRA competition. And so he convinced me that he could make it spool. So we went that direction, and that was 2018. And looking back, it was a really good decision, because somehow, some way, we came out with the turbos for the first year, and everything worked flawlessly. And we ran PDRA that year and ended up winning the 2018 Quick 32 Top Sportsman Championship, which was a good thing and a bad thing. It was great because we won the championship, and it got us a lot of attention. And at the end of the year, we were at the PRI show and signed a bunch of sponsors, and Precision Turbo came on board and gave us new turbos and some new wastegates and a bunch of other stuff, and picked up, Excelodyne and Total Seal and CP Piston and Cone Engineering. And so the good news was we won the championship. Bad news was, I won the championship, and 5 minutes later I crashed the car because I shook the tires, and the throttle bracket broke off the side of the throttle body, which made the car go wide open throttle as it was shaking the tires. So nothing I could do, and it ended up hitting the wall, and didn't do a ton of damage, but it was, anytime you hit the wall, no matter where it is, it's not a good thing. So we had to front half the car, and so then we, put the whole turbo setup back together, and with the new turbos, same size but better turbos, and struggled in 2019, and even early 2020, had some problems, and just the car made so much more power, and we couldn't keep transmissions in it. And that was before we hooked up really with Cone, other than I've always had a Cone converter in it. And just, we got to the point where, the car makes over 3,000 horsepower. We were on a chassis dyno when we tuned it last year, and it made, 2,800 at the rear wheel. So and that wasn't at full boost. So it makes really good power. And we couldn't keep trannies in it. And finally Cone was like, "Listen, you're at the end of the power glide." And they built me a Turbo 400, and it's been flawless since. The bad news was we changed the gear ratios in the tranny and didn't really give much thought to what was going on in the back of the car in the rear end. And we totally missed the gear ratio setup. And last year, even at the end of 2018, just last year, we just couldn't stop shaking the tires. It was terrible. And we couldn't make any good runs. So we figured that out and changed it this year over the winter. And this year has been pretty amazing, actually.
Cool.
So far.
Our resident turbo expert. Go ahead, Scott.
What is that quarter mile or eighth mile when it comes to NHRA? When you're running or PDRA, when you're running PDRA,
PDRA is all eighth mile.
It is all eighth mile. So what did you go to, like a closed ratio, like 160, 131, 1, like that type? You did, yeah.
That's what we went through. The bad news was last year we had 389s in the rear end, and
Yep.
we just couldn't get up on the tire. Didn't matter how hard we hit it or what we did, or we just couldn't get up on the
What size the motor? Big block?
tire. Motor's 598, big block Ford.
And what do you run, like XPR 88s or 94s or something?
They're 88.
Experience. That's I mean,
Did
that's
you change the gearing in the transmission, or were you able to get it with a rear end gear?
No, just the rear end gear. We just went to a 411 gear. We almost went to we were gonna go to a 170 first gear. I didn't want to send the training back there. So we gave it a gear train. We tried gears, and it certainly worked.
Nice, good. That's a lot less painful than transmission work, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Are you guys running a lockup? Can you run a lockup?
I can. I am not running a lockup.
You can though.
Yeah, I can.
Did you run bullet this weekend?
I did not. I'm really mad at myself for not going down there, but I did not go.
Yeah, Freddie was down there.
He was.
Pete. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Pete, go ahead.
Did you win Best Engineered at the Englishtown National event?
Yeah.
Do you remember that absolutely flawlessly beautiful Vega wagon that won
Oh,
Best
God.
Appearance?
Oh,
I don't
my
think there
God.
is such a thing.
Oh my God.
Yes, I do remember.
I saw the picture of your car, and I'm terrible with names, so I saw it. And I'm like, I wonder if that's the guy that won Best Engineering when I won Best Appearing. And then as soon as I saw you, I knew it was you. And then
Yeah.
Chris said something about the black hood. So how's that Wally? You got it nice and warm back
Yeah,
there?
it's right, sitting right over there next to
Very
me.
nice, very nice. I thought that was you.
What's the car run now in the 8th?
Best it's gone to date is 398 at 192. But I can guarantee you that's going to fall at some point soon.
You ever think about putting small tires on it?
No, I don't know. I mean, would I say I've thought about it? Sure. Do I don't know. It's one of those things where we all know that the setups are completely different. So
Right, you know, shocks, anti-squat, everything else is different, right?
yeah. So
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you're not busy next weekend. There's a nice race at Lebanon Valley.
So here's my problem with that. The biggest problem I have is I can't run a bump button. So I don't have one even in the car. So to spool up on a Pro Tree would be almost impossible.
Ah, it would be.
It spools pretty quick, but that's be asking a lot. I mean, I don't know how quick the cars would be there. I could probably leave on no boost and probably go quicker than most.
I mean, most of the I've got cars that are going to go 4.0s in the 8th. I know a car that was there was testing on Saturday. Well, Pete, you saw him, and he runs bottom 4s. You know,
Yeah, that was one fast car, man. Holy crap.
my
Is that
small
a big
tire.
tire? Small
Uh-huh.
tire? Is that a small tire?
No, big tire, Proline Hemi Pro Charger.
What's the rules on the
No
class?
rules. No rules.
There's no engine size limit. No,
Nope,
nothing?
just tires.
That's where I lose it on, like, even going to like some of the Northeast Pro Mod stuff there's a lot of them have engine limits, and we just happen to we're a little bigger than we need to be. Not that I'm as fast as those guys by any means, but
Right. Because a lot of them go off like a 540 based,
540, yeah.
yeah, based motor engine. No, I mean it'll be a good race. It's going to be we've got 25 or 26 big tire cars and
Really?
almost 30 small tire cars pre-registered. Yeah, it'll be a good event. It'll be fun. It pays good money. But
I wish I had
yeah.
the bump button.
So you don't even have one in the car at all?
We have the ability to do it. It's just not set up yet.
What do you run for a computer system in the car? Holly?
No, I got Motec.
Oh, Motec? Yes, you can just pin it out and run a bump button if you wanted to.
I have it. The wires are already there. I don't have like the solenoids or anything, relays, I should say, to do it. So
That it's got to be hard to being a turbo guy. It's got to be really hard to spool on a Sportsman tree because
Not at all. I can spool that thing to 12 to 13 pounds of boost in like 1.5 seconds.
so as soon as you see your bottom bulb is lit, you're on it right away.
As soon as the last person stages, whoever that may be.
Stage bulbs come on, you let it fly.
Right.
Yeah, that's when I go full throttle.
Wow, it's a unique combo for what you're doing. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps me spool having the 600 cubic inch motor versus a 540,
Right.
or smaller. So, we worked a lot. That was one of the problems I was having this year, and it burnt me actually down in Gaboriault in the third round. We were having a stumbling issue, and it wouldn't do it every run, and sometimes it would stumble right like when I was supposed to let go of the trans brake button, and if anything happens in the car when you're about to let go of the button, it distracts you. So I was late, obviously, letting go of the button. Sometimes it recovers and doesn't affect the boost, and sometimes it would stumble right when it was supposed to leave. So I think, knock on wood, I think we have that problem solved. So I think we'll be good from now on. But we're primarily going to run PDRA this year. We're going to make a few NHRA races, and probably run up at Epping a few times at the couple of their top Sportsman races.
Yep.
My biggest problem, and I know Lisa was texting you guys a while ago, is my biggest problem is I have to slow the car down to run NHRA, because the quickest you can go is 610. And every run I've made this year will go in the fives. So
Wow.
So to slow, the good news is I get to slow it down, so I should be able to go 610 without a problem.
You can go 610 and have easier on parts.
Right.
You could take one turbo off and leave it in the trailer. You'll be fine.
Well, it's funny that Dennis came on today because I'm watching Yellow Bullet and I'm watching Freddie and all these guys in Top Sportsman, and I'm thinking, I got 275s and no bars. I can go run Top Sportsman. But I'm like, how the hell would you bump in? But you're saying you can't use a bump at all. So that's like a totally different.
Probably at Yellow Bullet you might be able to, but I've never asked the question at Yellow Bullet, not Yellow Bullet, at PDRA, but I believe they go by NHRA rules. So by rule, you should not be able to use a bump button.
I've watched enough Top Sportsman racing to know that even if they allowed a bump button, you would be dead. Because there's no way in the world you're putting a car in the same spot in the beams. And they're good enough that if you're not staging consistently, they will eat you alive on reaction time, without a doubt.
I
don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Neither do I. I don't agree with it either. Listen, he's an all motor guy.
Right, but it's got nothing to do with.
But you're saying because you watch me stage, you're saying the inconsistency in how deep I go.
Exactly. Not you, any turbo car I've ever seen.
But they're all going to stage pretty similar as long as you're the same depth when you light that first bulb.
Yeah, I was just going to say what's really important there is how quickly you roll into the first bulb, because you can make the car creep as quickly or as slowly or as jumpy as you want. So if you can pull into that first beam correctly, the bad news is, if you try and spool that thing quick,
you're getting burned down.
You're getting burned down.
Right.
That's where the problem would come in.
Right.
People could screw with you, and that's why I'm 99% sure PDRA you can't use it, because a couple of weeks ago when I ran Cheyenne Stanley, as soon as he quick staged me, I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, but he definitely went into stage as quick as possible. And as soon as he was in, he was on the gas trying to spool it, where I pulled in a few seconds later and spooled mine and I was fine. But so I'm assuming he would like to have a bump button if he could do it, but he can't. So, it is what it is. I mean,
are there a lot of turbos? Are there a lot of turbo guys running Top Sportsman?
There's more than, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a lot, but I'm trying to think. There's 1, 2, 3.
But it's a
Five-
handful. It's a
5 or 6, maybe 7 that I can think of.
Yeah, I know. I know Mark Payne
Mark,
does.
right. Mark Payne, there's Cheyenne Stanley, there's who else is-
Cedric does.
Cedric does.
Yeah.
He doesn't run a lot of top sportsmen anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway. There is a few other ones down in PDRA that do run the turbos. Scott McCracken has one.
How
Oh,
long?
there's-
How long does it take? Pete, you'll know too. Once you light the second bulb and they activate the tree, how long does it take to go yellow, 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 green? Like how long?
The space between every light is half a second.
Right, it's 1.5 seconds.
So 1.5 seconds from when the tree starts to when the green's on.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've definitely had issues where if the tree is crazy quick, when they throw it, sometimes if I go in second and I hit the button, and before I can even get the gas down, I'm letting go with the button. It can be a little sketchy getting to the boost I want to get to. But as long as I'm up, I mean, I usually try and leave on 12 or so. As long as I'm at 9 or 10, it'll leave okay.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much, if you're shooting for 12 and you leave at 8, is your run a disaster, or could it?
Right. The chassis still works.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, no, the chassis still works. 8 could be a problem. 9 or 10 would be fine. And I've had problems, where that stumble caused me a problem. It's left on 6.
Right.
6 is a problem only because then it climbs the ring gear and wants to wheelie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
All that power comes in. Oh my God.
Yeah, we've been working on that too, trying to figure that out. We figured out some stuff when we were in Galot, we were having problems controlling the boost. It kept creeping on us. We'd be trying to make 28 and it was making 33. And so we figured out what that was. And when I got back from Galot, I literally ripped that car completely apart. I had the rear end out of it. I had the headers off it. I had the turbos off it. I had suspension apart. I had everything apart, changing it. And we put bigger tubing to the wastegates. And when we went to Kentucky, we planned on testing on that Thursday and it rained. And it made a huge difference. And now I can control the boost where I want it. The bad news was we were putting in tune-ups from Galot, trying to make
From the last setup.
we were trying to make 30 pounds of boost and it was only making 25 because the boost controller was working. I mean, not the boost controller, but the wastegates were working correctly. So we didn't make the elite field down in Kentucky. We missed it by a couple positions. And, unfortunately, first round, we ran quick enough to make the elite field, but it was one run too late. But we made some big progress down there, and that's why I was saying before that 398 is gonna fall soon, probably next time out.
How about your team? Who do you have that kind of goes around it? I know you have your wife, obviously.
So yeah, my wife goes with me whenever she can. Unfortunately, her job doesn't allow her to travel with us as much as she would like, or I would like, and but Joe Taft goes with me to pretty much all my PDRA races. My engine builder, Mike Fosher, goes to some of them, as many as he can. He's out in Illinois, so he flies in wherever we're going. Good news with having him there is I don't have to spend all day on the phone after my runs. The bad news is he only knows one speed, and that's going all out. So when he's there, that's all we're trying to do is go crazy fast. There's no backing it down.
Right.
It's hard to talk him into backing it down. I have a few other guys that go once in a while, but primarily it's Joe and my wife.
Nice. One of the interesting things about when your wife is at a race, what doesn't she do when you're at the tree?
Oh, she doesn't look. She doesn't watch. She's watched it catch on fire. She's watched me, barrel roll it at Island. She watched me hit the wall in Virginia, and then I went into the sand trap at Lebanon Valley once. So I've pretty much done all of them. So she doesn't like to watch.
It's kind
Gets
of
me all. She pulls me into the beams, gets me straight, checks the wheelie bars, whatever, and then apparently she turns around. I haven't actually watched it because obviously I'm in the car, but we have it on
Right.
video.
Yeah, because whenever Brian Loans is doing the divisional race at New England, and you're there running, you can guarantee that he will say every time, now just watch her, she's going to turn around and face the highway.
Yep.
So
And she just watches everybody, and she can tell by their reaction if everything's okay or not.
Yeah, cool. So
Can't
you're
hear
going
it
to,
anymore because of the turbo.
right, you're going to stick mostly with PDRA, you said, just so you don't have to worry about slowing the car down.
Well, it's not that I want to have to worry about it. It's just it's hard to do.
Hard to do, yeah.
There's only so much money, so it's only so many times, and I got to take time off from work too. So we're definitely gonna run the Lebanon Valley Divisional, and we're gonna run the Epping Divisional. I know Scott wants me to go over to Lebanon for his race, which I wish I had a bump button in it because I would do it because I'm just dying to get back in the car because I want to go make some laps. But I'm actually trying to talk her into going down to Maple Grove this
Prep will be
weekend,
really good. The prep will be really, really good.
which can be good and bad. It's good for the small tire guys.
Well,
Sometimes
you'll be able to get wheel speed, but it's going to be more prep for my 275 guys, my small tire guys to really, 60 foot there.
So what you're saying is I got to leave on 15 pounds of boost. I'll never get there.
Probably.
Your wife just commented that she turns around and starts praying.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Now, I know some of the pro mod guys around here, like Angela and a few other people, when people tried to get Dana Hart at the East Coast Pro Comp Association to open it up to door cars, did you consider that until they went to blower only, even with the door car, to get at least to make laps?
Yeah, I don't think I even knew they were thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
Had they done it, I mean, of course, that's again a 620 bottom end, I think.
Yeah, I think they actually softened it a little bit more, if I remember right.
So I mean, I'm telling you, the car is it's pretty quick. Even before I got it as quick as it is now, like last year and even the year before, it was going 14s to low 420s. Even that was going 620, 629 to 635 in the quarter mile, not even really trying. I mean, the car's gone 236 miles an hour. And
wow.
And I can tell you that was with a 187 mile an hour, 8th mile. So it's gone 192, almost 193 already. So, we're talking, 242, 243.
Wow.
But like I said, even the last, when we were in Kentucky, we were going 401, 402 during eliminations, and that alone would be a 595, 596 quarter mile. So,
right.
And that, that's still got 10 pounds of boost to go. So,
cool. Go ahead, Pete.
I got nothing for that. Those are some uncomprehendable numbers for me. Good Lord, that thing's making some steam.
Oh, absolutely. It's always been a fast car since I've been around up here. So
wow. So you're mostly concentrating on PDRA this year?
Yeah.
So no divisionals, no nationals.
No, we're gonna run the Lebanon Valley Divisional, and we're gonna run
nice.
the Epping Divisional. If we go to another one, maybe. The problem with I don't believe we're gonna go to any nationals this year. I might try and do more NHRA stuff next year, only because Epping will have top sportsman, Maple Grove will have top sportsman.
Right.
This year, Maple Grove and Epping are top dragster, so because they switch every year. So next year might make a little more sense to try some of those. I don't know. PDRA is tough to beat for me because I like to go fast, and I like being around a lot of door cars.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nice, nice.
And it's the other thing is it's fun. It's there's always 60. I would say a minimum of 55 and a maximum of 75 top sportsman cars. And if you're trying to get into the elite field, I mean, you're trying to be one of the top 16 cars there. And there's 23, 24 cars that are capable of probably getting into it, depending on how everybody runs. So, it's pretty badass. To sorry, excuse my language if I'm not supposed to say that, but
No, that's fine.
it's pretty bad to try and get into that. And a couple of years ago when we ran PDRA in 2018 that was the first time I had ever run a full season there. My goal was to be the number 17 qualifier at every race because I knew I couldn't run the elite field all the time. And so I was trying to be the number 1 qualifier of the bottom half. And I got it most of the time. I was actually at races. I wasn't even making full pulls until the 3rd qualifier because I was trying to avoid going into that elite field. And if people screwed up and didn't go by me, I would have been stuck in the elite field, which wouldn't have been a problem other than the whole points thing.
Right.
Their point series is kind of cool because if you make the elite field twice, you can move your points down to the other class, but you can't move your points from the lower class to the upper class. So like right now, I've been in the elite once and I've been in the regular 32 runs. So when we go to Ohio in 2 weeks, if I don't make the elite field, I'm going to be slowing the car down for the rest of the year.
Right.
Because then I'll move my points down and I'll stay in the slower class. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. We're shooting for low 390s, if not high 380s in Ohio.
Wow. Very
That'll be
cool.
sick.
Yep. How about the rest of the sponsors to help you out?
That pretty much the ones I mentioned. Factory Billet is the, Mike Fosher out in Factory Billet. He doesn't build my motors, but he picks all the parts. Luckily, years ago when he was around here, when he was Quest Racing, not only did he sponsor me and help me, but he made me build all my own stuff with him looking over my shoulder, which thank God he did, because now that he's not around here, at least I have the ability to put my motors together. So he picks all the parts, determines what he wants things to be. We have a machine shop here, ABT machine out in Holliston, Mass, that does all my machine work, and then I assemble everything. So he's a big one. Let me tell you, I'm on the phone with him several times a week in between races and hours and hours and hours when he's not at the races with me. Precision Turbo, Cone Engineering for the tranny and converter, Excelodyne for all the valves, Total Seal, obviously for rings and CP pistons.
Cool.
Who does all your tuning on the car?
Myself and Mike. So it's like I said, we just switched to I've had pretty much every EFI unit that there is other than Holly, actually in Fuel Tech, but I've had couple different fast systems on it. I've had big stuff on it. He's been bugging me.
I ran big stuff before and went to Fuel Tech on the old car, and it was like night and day difference. My God.
I didn't have a problem with that. Trust me, I was considering putting the big stuff back on it because I still have it. Because the Motec was just giving us fits and having issues I didn't have when I was running the big stuff, and
Right.
just took some time to figure it out. But now that we've got it, I like a lot of it. Just they're very engineering based. Like if you're not an engineer, it's tough to understand some of the stuff
Right.
they're talking about. But the system itself is just amazing what you can do with it.
And now John Meany came out with a new big stuff, that new 4-box.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't played with it, but they all do the same stuff.
Exactly.
I can tell you that I don't know if it was I think it was last year, first race. We were down at Galot, and I left my house with the car running, or maybe it was 2 years ago, and got down there and the car wouldn't run. If Fuel Tech would have just gave me the right deal, it would have had a Fuel Tech on it.
Yep.
Because I had drove, 15 hours and get there, and then my car won't run, and I know what it was, and couldn't get a hold of John to fix it, and because it was just a software thing. And I was like, I was talking to the guys from Fuel Tech and was like, listen, I'll go put this on my car right now. All you got to do is make me the right deal. And they just wouldn't sell the system they had sitting there. because it was a backup system for one of their Pro Mod cars.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy how big stuff just doesn't have a lot of the engine management, the power management stuff. You know, it doesn't have. It's got a timing curve you can run, but it doesn't have the. You know, if you look at Fuel Tech, all the plots for your RPM cut, your drive shaft cut, like it's just it's crazy.
Technically, we're not supposed to run any of that.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't. I'm not running any of that, but you know, I could do it if I really wanted to. I could make me a, you know, you can add anything you want to the box. So
Right, to a drive shaft plot or whatever, right?
yeah, everything's just how we tune it, and you get what you got. And you know, if you
So
want
can you guys run like a timing retard, like a launch retard? You can run that, right? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you just can't base it on any, you know, you can't base it on how the car is going down the track. You can't do it by wheel speed and that, you know, that was a couple of the things that I liked about the Motec was, you know, everything's in one box, everything. With the big stuff, I had, you know, a separate boost controller because I didn't like the boost controller that was in.
Yeah.
Or exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
You know, and then I had a separate data logger and I had a separate dash and I had this. Now everything's all in one place. We've got, you know, so many sensors. We haven't even looked at half of them yet.
That's why I like my new car's got the Holly, and I really enjoy the Holly system, the Dominator. Such a good system to use.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty simplistic, you know, just very user friendly for anybody who's like, I can call a customer who's at the track and walk him through like exactly if I can't team view her in or whatever, I can show them exactly where they need to go, what they need to do, and it's pretty simple. It's nice.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, you know, like I said, we basically do the same thing with the Motec. Mike's on one end, I'm on the other end, and
yep.
You know, you know, he pretty much takes care of most of the tuning part of it, but you know, anything to do with the boost and timing and all that stuff, I'll deal with all that stuff. And you know, if we pull plugs or something, you know, I'll have him look at them, and if he wants to make a change, he'll tell me either what to do or I'll send him the file, let him change it, and I'll put it back in the car.
Well, plus you're the one at the track, so you know what the grip is, you know what the track's like, so you know how much timing you need to pull, how quick you can get the boost in.
Yeah, we're still struggling with that a little bit. I think I'm a little gun shy because I hate blowing the tires off. So we had a tune-up in it at Kentucky that if it would have went down the track, I don't even know how fast it would have went, but I can tell you by 1 second out, it was way faster than it had ever gone.
Right.
So had it held, but we were having a suspension problem too. And as you know, everything's got to be right. So
yep.
Actually that run there, we figured out what was wrong with the suspension. So that's why I'm anxious to get back out.
That's awesome.
I want to put that tune up back in it and see what happens.
Well, very cool, Dennis. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. You know, obviously best of luck for the rest of the year. We'll be following you along, and you know, if you get that thing down as fast as you want it to, we're gonna have to talk about it again.
Hey, I'm all for it because I definitely want to get it faster. I know it's got the power to go, you know, 380s anyway, if not quicker. So Mike thinks it'll go low 380s, if not high 370s, but
Wow.
not sure about that yet. But it's definitely got some power. I mean, when we were in Galot and we qualified number 16, we were the elite bump, but I had like the sixth or seventh fastest mile an hour. So, you know, it's got mile an hour, it's got power, but you know, as everybody knows, or Scott definitely knows, turbo cars don't 330.
They don't.
Right.
Not like a nitrous car or a blower car.
You know, if you look at my numbers, you know, like the number one guy, John Benoit, most of the time, you know, if you look at his 330 to 8th mile time versus mine, I'm as fast as he is from the 330 to the 8th, but I just can't 330 with him.
Oh, you're front. Yeah, you can't front half. There's no way. You're not going to front half like that car.
Right. So, you know, I actually have to go faster in the back half to catch him, you know. So
he'll go like 264. You'll go like 271 or something, and it'll just be. Yeah.
right. So, I mean, it's, you know, whatever. It's a game. It's fun. It's, you know, as long as things aren't breaking, we'll just keep going and see what happens.
Awesome. Well, very cool. I look forward to seeing you hopefully at the divisional at Lebanon Valley, maybe the divisional at New England. And again, best of luck for the rest of the year. We'll be watching. And, like I said, if you dip that thing down again, we'll have to, we'll talk about it some more.
All right, sounds great. Thanks.
And
for
one
having me.
last thing, Dennis, if you don't want to run Saturday, we do have a prep test session Friday night, 5 to 10.
Got it. Thanks.
All right.
Cool. All right, Dennis, thank you again. And enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
All right, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Take
have
care,
a
bud.
good night.
See you later.
All right, Dennis Gaboriault, everybody.
Nothing better
Division
than
One top
talking.
sportsman racer.
Like, that is just a great conversation of turbos. I mean, that's just an amazing, amazing conversation. Right?
Yeah, yeah. You and 2 other people in the country, I'm sure, had a ball.
All right, I got 5 minutes before our soap opera. I want to get Yellow Bullet in. You ready?
Go.
Promo.
Then I got something I want to throw at you guys.
What is it? Do you have another? Are you putting up
No,
another?
just go.
Promod. Sean Lee goes a double oath. Now this is you're talking about Pete about close races, right? So these are 2 pro mods. You got Sean Lee goes 359 with a 6 to Decker, who goes 359 with a 6. Sean Lee goes 003 on the tree. Decker goes 022. 20 thou at the stripe, both going 359 with a 6. Talk about tight. Oh my God.
That's the final.
Yeah.
Great. Let's talk about first, second, and third round.
Oh, they're all like that.
When you could have drove school buses in between the 2 going down the track.
Anyway, so Pro 275. The Bensons, they go 369 to my buddy Steve Gorman, goes 373. 84 thou at the finish. No, I'm sorry, 8 thousandths at the 8 thou at the finish. Because Steve Gorman went 373 to Benson's 369, but Gorman went 004 to Benson's 024. Rob Goss beat Ron Rhodes. Rob Goss went 414 with his pro charged car to Ron Rhodes. Ron Rhodes, I think, I'm not going to say he hurt the motor, but he definitely slowed up. If he had gone with his 330, he would have went like 412. That's how fast on hit he was on. But something gave way. We had the first Ultra Street car to go 440s. Now, the difference is Ultra Street runs a 76 millimeter turbo. X275 runs an 88 millimeter. Big difference. Dylan Weil went 449 in qualifying to qualify number 1. He broke in the finals to George Farku. He went 451. So they're just ridiculously fast. Top Sportsman, our buddy Freddie Perkins, he went out second round. And the winner was Joey Heffernan that run Top Sportsman. Warriors. Now we had a local running Warriors, Lou Proto, who is from Monroe. They had a second chance race, so he qualified like what he was just talking about, but the fast top, the fast 16, and there's a next 16. Scotty Klein won the top 16, and then Lou Proto had the second chance race. He was top qualifier in the second chance race because it's like number 17 or whatever in qualifying. But he won the second chance race for Warriors. He went a new best 465 at 157. What?
Nothing.
Why is Chris staring at me like that?
I'm just
Anyway, so that was Yellow Bullet. It was nice to see. Maryland has had no more restrictions as of Friday on what is he doing? They had no restriction on
Trying to
fans.
keep our 3 viewers awake, if I had to guess.
They had no restriction on fans. They had they were saying 9,000 to 10,000 people that were through the gates. So that's
Really?
encouraging. Yeah, so that's encouraging.
That for all 3 days?
For Yellow Bullet, I don't know if it was all 3 days, but everybody said the bleachers were packed on Saturday and there were long lines. So that's good to hear. I don't know how many will go watch some boring .90 racing, but I mean, at least they are going to the track.
Just be people that want to see good competition, but whatever.
Yeah.
If when we let people in, we let 1,700 people stand on the starting line, there'd probably be more people there.
That's grudge racing. That's not yellow.
Oh, so you're telling me Yellow Bullet doesn't have 1 million people on the starting line?
I mean, there's a few.
I was surprised when I every once in a while over the weekend I flipped on to the Yellow Bullet coverage, and there was not as many. I will say there were not as many people on the starting line as what I've seen in the past.
Yeah,
Am I right in saying that Duck was trying to crack down on that a little bit, Scott?
Duck did, yes. No, Duck did.
Duck did, right.
Monty did too, but Duck did a lot. Like, I mean, Yellow Bullet used to be. I mean, when you pull down, and I'd be wheeling down, and Gary bringing the car down, you'd have to run over at least 10 people just to get to the water box.
Crazy, it's crazy.
But it's been better though. It's been better.
I don't know if either of you guys saw the video of what happened to Roy Hill at Charlotte.
He got run over.
Yeah, he was walking behind it. I'm assuming it was a Supercom dragster, and the dragster was going through the water box. Roy walked behind it. The driver of, who actually I think she made it to the semis, if I remember correctly, backed up. And Roy Hill even said, he goes, I wasn't paying attention. And put the left rear tire right up on top of him. I guess he had to have surgery, he had a broken leg, and he pretty much just kind of said, no harm, no foul, it's my fault. So
yeah,
was it backing up, or did it out instead of accidentally not go forward in the burnout and go backwards?
Now, this particular dragster driver, I don't know, not every one of them does it. Some of them do it. Pete, I know you've seen it before, Pete. Some tracks have a very narrow water box.
Right.
Yes.
Z-Max was one of them, and I guess people were actually complaining a lot about it. They only went down, a small area, say, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet by however wide. So the driver of this particular dragster, drove through, put it in reverse to back up to get the tires wet again, because obviously dragsters don't have line locks. And in the process of backing up, no rear view mirrors also. And Roy walked behind it, and it just, the left rear tire knocked him down, climbed right up on him. It looked like it stopped just about his hip area. And then the car drove off of him because somebody was waving him forward. And
that's a breakdown on the crew communication that somebody should have been telling that car to stop.
There's not a lot of crew. In Super Comp, though, there's not a lot of crew.
Oh, there's not headsets like us. Like they're not.
No. I mean, some people have it, but it's not the norm.
Yeah, that was. Like I said, I have the video. I posted it up. It's not gory or anything.
No, I watched
that was I think you could call that a legitimate shit happens.
Yeah. It was really quick. I saw it on a cell phone about this big in the middle of the staging lanes, and it looked, from the quick view that I had, it almost looked like at the last second Roy realized it and he tried to move, and his feet were stuck to the track.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get out of the way. And then I didn't see it, but someone said, before we knew about his hip and surgery and stuff, someone said that he whacked his head pretty good on the ground, but that turned out to be nothing. I guess maybe it looked worse than what it is, because I don't even think he had a concussion or anything, or at least it hasn't been reported. So,
right.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. He said, from what I've read, he even said, he's like, it's just as much my fault as anybody else's. He goes, I should have been paying attention and I wasn't.
In my opinion, if you're walking anywhere between the burnout box and the finish line, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
That's, you're doing it at your own risk.
It's scary. I've had it happen where at Yellow Bullet, it was so dark. Gary did such a big burnout as he's coming back, and I'm directing Al to put him in the groove.
Right.
And Al didn't see me say stop.
Right.
And Gary kept coming, and somebody had to push me out of the way because he was backing up so far.
Yeah.
It's just, it's scary. Definitely scary.
Now, if that happens, could you just grab onto the wing and roll back? How does that work?
Technically speaking, I could, yeah. He can just
You don't
push
check
me on
your
the way.
brake, do you?
Well, it's like I want to try when we're at the divisional, Pete. I'm going to hold on to the back of your golf cart and have you pull me around and see how
There
well
you
it
go.
works.
Yeah,
Pete, tell him I do it all the time.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's how you get from
I
place
hold on to the
place.
side of the golf cart.
Yeah, because he can't slide. Well, he could, but to slide from the seat to the golf cart, it's easier for him to just hang onto the handle while someone's driving.
Just put a Hoonigan sticker on the back of our wheelchairs.
Yeah.
That's what the parachute's for, Scott. It's not to slow the car down. It's to give you a cushion if they're backing up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, before you guys go watch your soaps, very quickly, there was something I was reading on Facebook, so you know it's true. Mustang versus everything else in the universe. What's cheaper to build a 10-second car? Mustang or
A
think
10-second
about
car?
it. Think about it, and we'll touch on this again.
Oh, it's easy.
Hold on. One stipulation.
Okay.
Does the Mustang have to remain Ford powered?
Pete,
Let's
you're
say
going,
that.
you're going where I was going. That's not even
Because anything Chevy would be faster.
any and cheaper.
Well, that's, I don't mean faster as in Fords are slow. I mean Fords are more expensive to build. So
right.
anything with a Chevy motor in it, just because of popularity.
Especially a 5.3.
Right.
All right. So you guys have homework. A Mustang Ford powered versus a Mustang Chevy powered 10-second car.
That's a
We'll
no-brainer.
talk about it more next week.
Piece of cake. I already got the answer.
Me too. And we already know I'm right because Pete and I have done it.
That's right. Well, kind of. I built it on paper.
Yeah, you did build that paper.
All right. I want to see a rough outline by Wednesday night.
Okay, wait, time
It
out.
will be graded.
Wait, listen to me. I have my race this weekend. I have to go pick up an RV. I have to go to Delaware and pick up gas. And then Wednesday night, I'm at New England Dragway tuning a car. I'm gonna be a little busy this week. I'm just saying.
We will talk about it more on Monday.
We got this. Two quick things before we go. Thank you very much to Lebanon Valley for a great weekend of racing. And don't forget about Rob Keister's race, .90 Nationals in Maple Grove.
And this weekend, Lebanon Valley, no time, no rules. Big tire, small tire, 650 index. It's going to be a great, great event. It's
And
going to be
actually,
awesome.
I'm wrong. It's not the .90 Nationals. It's the Dave Stein race.
Dave
Either
Stein,
way,
yep.
it's still a great event and good payout, heavily sponsored. So go check it out.
Absolutely. All right. So joining us next week, top alcohol funny car driver Brian Golick from Pennsylvania, another Division I racer is going to be coming on. Talk about his evolution from crew to learning to drive to having his own ride now. And cool. I talked to Brian in the past and look forward to it.
He doesn't have turbos, right?
No, so we Scotty, if you want, there's going to be no turbo talk next Monday, so you can come in a little late and you can do your homework. Catch it now.
I have a lot to talk about on Monday because it'll be the Monday after my race.
I know. All right, you can come on at normal time then. You just got to turn your head around so the bill's out front.
Yeah, but this says the New World Order.
Yeah.
My F275 hat.
Scott, you should come on and do this show from 6 to 7.
I tell you, I'll have a bigger audience than we do from 7 to 8.
Really? Kids. Remember, I'm older than both of you. So, all right, gentlemen, I bid you a fond adieu. Enjoy your show. Thank you to Dennis Gaboriault for coming on, hanging out with us. Pete, thanks for having results and making me feel like an idiot. And that's okay, because I do that to myself a lot. Scott, good job with NMCA and Yellow Bullet. Thank you very much.
Welcome,
Dennis,
sir.
thank you again for your time. And we will be back next Monday night. Scotty Wills Racing is going to close it out for the evening.
Scotty Wheels Racing is a veteran-owned and operated company that specializes in performance parts, installation, and tuning. They can build and design your chassis right at their shop in Hamden, Connecticut. They offer track and remote tuning for your electronic fuel injection and chassis. They are your one-stop shop, including brakes and suspension, chassis, engine parts, fuel systems, turbos, and accessories. They not only sell it, they race it on their own in-house race car. Be sure to check out their website at www.scottywheels.com or give them a call at 203-500-5995.
All right. One other thing that I did have to mention, I want to give Imagine That Customs a big shout out for the new paint. That's one of the other thing we didn't talk about. We'll talk about next week. The new paint on the hot rod that is the Vega. So thank you to Jaron Settles, Imagine That Customs. Check them out on Facebook. Have a great night, everybody.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
Later.